Alright guys, today's goal is going to be taking us back to the justifications. We're going to justify a solution method for multi-step equations. We've been solving them, we've been identifying errors and correcting errors in the solution methods. Now we just have to talk about how do we justify what we're doing. It's really simple. It's using the same four properties we've already talked about: the addition property of equality, the subtraction property of equality, the division property of equality, and the multiplication property of equality. The difference is we're now going to add combining like terms and distributive property into this. So I want you guys to take a look up at the board, and what I want you to do is please go ahead and copy these down in your notes. Pause the video for me and push play when you guys are ready to move on. Alright, so at this point you should be ready to move on, and what we're going to start talking about here is how do I do this? How do I take this concept of solving and turn it into a concept of justification? Well, it's really easy. Just like before, the first thing we need to do is actually solve it. So here my first step is going to be to distribute, so I distribute the 2. My pen size is way too big, so give me just a second. And I get 3x plus 2 times 3 is 6x. 2 times negative 7 is negative 14 equals 13. Step 2, I'm going to combine like terms. 3x plus 6x is 9x minus 14 equals 13. Now that I've got it written as a two-step equation, I'm just going to solve for x. I add 14 to both sides. 9x equals 27. Divide both sides by 9. I get x equals 3. So, ladies and gentlemen, we went through and we already solved it, but let's talk about how we did it. So from step 1 up here, which is our given, to step 2 right here, all I did was I distributed this 2. So from here to here, I distributed. Then I take a look, and from 2 to 3, I combine like terms, and we abbreviate that in our class anyways as CLT. From here to step 4, I take a look and I say, well, I added this 14 to both sides. So that's going to be added 14. What did I do? I added 14. And finally, from here, step 4, down here to step 5, I divided 9. So now that I've identified what I did, I need to come over here and justify that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Step 1 is always given. Step 2, to get from here to here, I distributed, which tells me I'm going to have to have used the distributive property. I'm going to abbreviate property as just prop with a period at the end. It's a little easier to deal with. From 2 to 3, I combine like terms, and my only justification for that is simply combining like terms. Combining like terms, guys, is a variation on the distributive property. It's a little complicated, a little awkward to think about, but it really is just the distributive property in reverse. And I can show you guys sometime why that works, how it works. Just ask me to. I am more than willing to. I'm just not going to do it in this video. From 3 to 4, I added 14, and I added 14 to both sides, so that tells me it's the addition. And then that both sides, again, please remember, means property of equality. I will tell you guys, you did much better on this justifying on quiz 1 the second time through, so I'm expecting you to do just as well here on quiz 2. And now I divided by 9, so I've got the division property of equality. That's simple, guys. There's no easier way to do this. So I want you guys to go ahead, pause the video long enough for you guys to all get caught up copying this down, and then when you're ready to move on, push play. Okay, so you should be caught up at this point. Let's go ahead, and this time around, I'm going to solve it. And then I want you to go step by step through it. What happened, and then give me a justification for it. So I'm going to go ahead and solve this. So I distribute the negative 2. I get negative 6x minus 18 plus 5x equals 11. I identify and combine my like terms. I get negative x minus 18 equals 11. I add 18 to both sides. I get negative x equals 29. I divide both sides by negative 1. I get x equals negative 29. Pretty simple. I'll go ahead and I'll number my steps for you guys. I started up here with 1. And I did what was done in purple to get to 2. And I did what was done in green to get to 3. Gray got me to 4. Dark blue got me to 5. I want you guys to go ahead, and what I want you to do is identify what got me from step to step. So from step 1 to step 2, what did I do? From step 2 to step 3, what did I do? From 3 to 4, what did I do? From 4 to 5, what did I do? So just like I did before, you need to fill in what happened on each of these arrows. Go ahead, pause the video for 1 minute and identify that for me. When you're ready to move on, go ahead and push play. Alright, so you guys should have been able to push play. Let's just go through. You should have said distribute, combine like terms, add 18, divide negative 1. Now what I want you guys to do is please justify it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On each of those 5 steps, please write a justification for why we were allowed to do that. Go ahead, pause the video for, let's give you guys 2 minutes this time. At the end of the 2 minutes, double check your answer with your group. Once everybody's on the same page, go ahead and push play and we can move on. Alright, now that you've pushed play, you've gone through, you've checked your justifications with each other, let's see if you get what I got. So number 1 should be the distributive property. Sorry guys, I don't know how to make this come out faster, so it's just as fast as I can write. Number 2 should be combining like terms. Number 3, ladies and gentlemen, there are times that I really just don't know what I'm supposed to be doing because, let's be honest, it's a little late. You should have caught my mistake, but in case you didn't, let's go ahead and back this up a little bit. And this is going to seem weird, but I'm just going to erase it as we go. What I want you guys to do is stop, pause the video, take 30 seconds. I want you guys to tell me what I just did wrong here. Alright, what you should have said is number 1 is supposed to be given, Mr. Kindle, because number 1 is always given. Then we get into the distributive property. Then we get into combining like terms, and I'm going to abbreviate that CLT here. Addition property of equality, and I'm going to abbreviate that add POE. And then division property of equality. Pretty basic so far, guys. This isn't any more complicated than justifying a 2-step equation. The difference between a multi-step and a 2-step equation is just that we're adding in the simplifications. We're adding in the distributive property and the combining like terms. I want you guys to go ahead. There is a problem on the board. I want you to pause the video for 2 minutes. Everybody go ahead and solve this. Go ahead and pause the video now. Alright, so you should have solved it, and as you were solving it, you should have gotten 7r minus 12 minus 15r equals 11. That's going to give me negative 8r minus 12 equals 11. Negative 8r equals 23. R equals negative 23 over 8. That should be what you guys got. Now what I want you to do is go ahead and tell me from step to step what happened. Because this is a key here, guys. You have to be able to identify what happened from each step to the next step. Go ahead, go through, identify from one step to the other what happened for me. Pause the video for another 2 minutes. Come back to me when you're ready to go. Alright, so now that you've had a chance to look at that, I'm not going to go through this. I want you to do one last step for me. Please justify your steps. Make sure you're all agreeing. Make sure everyone's on the same page. Double check with either Miss N or Miss Ramirez. And when you guys are ready to move on and everybody's on the same page, push play again, and we've got 3 more problems for you. Alright, so now that we're done with that, what I want you guys to do... Okay, I lied. We can go through and do this one really quickly. I was off a little bit in my timing. I apologize, guys. This one, go ahead. I want you to pause the video for 4 minutes. Solve it, explain what happens in each step, and then justify. One more time. Solve. Explain what happens in each step. And justify. And one more time, I want you guys to take 4 minutes to do this. Alright, now that you guys are back, let me go through and solve it real quick. You should have gotten 2w plus 2 minus 3 equals 13. 2w minus 1 equals 13. Very important, ladies and gentlemen. I can only do one thing in each step. I can only take one step at a time. Combining the w's is different than combining the constants, so please separate those out. Add 1 to both sides. 2w equals 14. W equals 7. Your justification should have gone 1 given, 2 combining like terms, 3 combining like terms, 4 addition property of equality, 5 division property of equality. Alright guys, we've got one more slide, I believe. I hope. Yep, we've got one more slide. What I want you guys to do is please go ahead and do these 3 problems on a half sheet of paper. Please remember the half sheets of paper are going to be located in or on the bookshelf in front of you. This is not a quiz. It is just for some just for some classwork points. Go ahead on a half sheet of paper, complete these 3 problems. You should be getting close to that 30-minute mark. You will definitely be at the 30-minute mark by the time you solve and justify. One more time, solve and justify each one of these. When that's done, just go ahead, get ready to rotate and rotate. Please remember you do have a quiz at the end of class today. You need to be ready for it. If I'm there, I will definitely go over a couple more things with you. If I am not, either Miss N or Miss Ramirez will cover those. But just be prepared. You've got a quiz at the end of class. These 3 problems are due at the end of this rotation. Ladies and gentlemen, get to work and have a great day.